When we create an array, internally it looks something like this. This is actually a single dimension array. You can consider that you have just one row with columns to store values. It is also possible to create an array which has both rows and columns, known as two-dimensional array. In fact, 2D array is a form of multi-dimensional array only, but at the moment let's focus on two-dimensional, that is 2D array. If you think of this figure where we have one row with 5 columns, it is declared like this: int arr of 5. Now let me declare 2D array of 2 rows and 3 columns. So I will say int arr. I will have two pairs of square brackets where the first one will be for the rows and the second one will be for the columns. So I have 2 and 3. Let me also assign values here. Later on we will get input using cin. So I will say is equal to and curly brackets. Now when there are two rows, it will be two pairs of curly brackets inside a curly bracket. Now if I have to assign the values, I will say curly bracket open, 1, 2, 3, curly bracket closed. So I have the first row done. Then I will put a comma and start the second row, for which I'll again open a curly bracket, 4, 5, 6, and close the curly bracket for the second row, and once again close the curly bracket for the main array declaration. This now has a capacity to store 6 elements as it has 2 rows and 3 columns. If you want to refer to a particular element, then you will have to specify the row and the column index number. If you say ARR of 1, 2, it means second row and the third column, that is this element. Remember, this is just an illustration of 2D array, but in the program, you have to visualize this as a tabular format, but you do not see the table anywhere in the output. Let's try this practically. I'll say int arr. Now I will define the rows and columns, that is 2 and 3, is equal to curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets, let me assign one row. So I will open another pair of curly brackets and write 1, 2, 3. Now let me assign the second row as well, 4, 5, 6. Now let me write the cout as well. I'll say cout arr of 1, 0. Similarly for arr 0, 2 and cout arr 1, 1. Here I have used individual elements, but ideally we use a loop within a loop to deal with this type of arrays. A parent loop which loops through rows and a child or inner loop which deals with the columns, and we will see it later on. Now there is one more thing you need to understand. When there are 6 elements in the array, it can be directly written like this. Let's remove these inner curly brackets and run. You can see that the output is still the same. Do not get confused with this. The main reason for this working fine is array is a sequential data structure. All the elements are stored in a sequence of memory location, so this will also work fine. But for better understanding and structure, we should follow the previous syntax.